We built btwb to support independent gyms. These gym owners have unique journeys that led them to create incredible communities in their towns or cities all around the world. Spotlight is going to help tell these stories and celebrate these people. All right, Ryan, man, I appreciate you linking up with me today.
Yeah, nice to talk with you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. So, Hybrid Fitness, where are you guys located? Hybrid X Fitness, where are you guys located?
We're in St. Cloud, Minnesota, right in central Minnesota.
Is there snow on the ground?
There is, yeah, not as much as we would typically have, but it's plenty cold. We've had some sub-zero temperatures lately.
Man, I'm just outside of Seattle. We get like a dusting once or twice a year, maybe a couple inches. But for whatever reason, this week we've got snow. I don't even want to use the word snow in front of you, but snow 3 days in a row that has accumulated to maybe like 4 inches total. And our
Yeah.
kids haven't had school in 2 days. So they're crazy in the other room if anybody hears them. But that's how we roll here. The whole place is shut down.
Wow, yeah, that we'd probably still be in. So
Wouldn't be a blip on the radar if you woke up to just a couple inches of snow, huh?
right.
No, it should be pretty cool. But walk me through, we were chatting about this before we clicked on your Hybrid X Fitness, and you're also the home of CrossFit St. Cloud. And I asked you which came first, the chicken or the egg, and you said there was a bit of a story there. So walk
Yeah.
the audience through it.
Well, so originally, my brother and I launched a CrossFit gym in Rice Lake, Wisconsin together called Hybrid Farm Fitness.
Okay.
And we were partners in that one, and it scaled up really quickly. Like within the first year, we had 100 members,
Oh,
and
nice.
it was it had a strong start. And then I stayed in Minnesota, so he lived over there, I lived over here, and had left another gym. And after about a year, that one was up and running. We had systems in place, everything was going well, and it was okay. Let's open another location now closer to where I lived. And
Mm,
at that time, there were like 5 CrossFit affiliates in St. Cloud, Minnesota. So we opened this one with another model. We were actually started out as an OPEX licensed gym. Um,
okay.
we were also affiliated. We also held CrossFit 320, which is like the area code. Um,
Okay.
and we started out here doing that, but with the OPEX stuff is all custom, is all individual program design.
I see. Okay.
So it was kind of unnecessary to have 2 different affiliates, 2 different, models. That wasn't driving. So we had let the CrossFit go for a little bit here at location 2. Um, and after a few years, I had so many like CrossFitters coming from other gyms that were just maybe looking for something a little different, maybe just a little higher experience, with the coaching staff, that type of thing, that we finally were like, let's just give the people what they want. They want to do CrossFit. We're good at CrossFit. Let's go. Let's do it. And so we relaunched group classes. And at that time, we reaffiliated, and CrossFit St. Cloud was available, which was
Okay.
actually the name of the first CrossFit gym I trained at as an athlete, different way back, 13, 14
Interesting.
years prior. But that affiliate name was available at that point. I had trained there, my wife had trained there, and we're like, yeah, absolutely, we'll be CrossFit St. Cloud, you know? So we've been CrossFit St. Cloud for 5 years now. So that's our CrossFit affiliate.
And you said this is in total the third place that you've opened.
Yeah. I also started CrossFit Beyond Sport over in
Okay.
Princeton, Minnesota.
So four.
Well, that one, I sold that one to Susan Gilson. Susan
Okay.
and Glenn Gilson have run that for about a decade now. They were members of mine for many years, good friends of mine. I still coach her. She competes in the adaptive games. Um, and then I worked at Fast Factory for a few years in between in the Granite Games. Like most CrossFitters are probably familiar with that. Uh,
Okay.
and then when I left there, we launched Hybrid Farm in Wisconsin. So that was the second one that I owned, was there. And that my brother, that's his gym now. He runs that. It's his baby. And then this is, yeah, third. And I've actually been, it sounds like a lot, but I've been here for 8 years. So
Okay, fascinating though. I mean, you've got a pretty interesting background and breadth and depth of experience from the management and ownership perspective that most gym owners that open one and stay with one don't have. So while I want to get to your gym, your members, your culture in a second,
Yeah.
since you're a bit unique in that aspect, I'd like to pick your brain in case there's any gym owners listening to this. With as many times as you've done it, let's say that you were, I don't know, somebody comes in today, they offer you a figure to purchase the gym that you've currently started, a figure that you can't say no to. You go ahead, you sell it, and you decide tomorrow, I love this, I have to open another one. With all the lessons learned that you've
Yeah.
had, what would be your advice based upon, looking in the rearview mirror now to properly open a new one from scratch?
Um, I think one thing is you could probably do really anything you want to with that business, as far as goals for it, but it's probably going to take longer than you think.
Mm,
Like if you think, okay, I'm gonna do this and get this many members, once in a while you get lucky, but it's you could probably double your timeline is
yeah,
just something
right.
to brace for, you know?
He's not just going to crack the doors open because you got the fancy new machines in there that the droves of people will show up the first week, huh?
Right. And that might, you could take that and extrapolate out from that then for financials and for, if you're leaving a full-time job, like how much should you have in the bank before you do it? That could guide other decisions around that. But, plan on it going a little slower. I'd been lucky because of some success with the previous one, and then this one was much slower, and then looking back, the first one was much slower, and it's like, that's more the norm, you know?
Yeah, I mean, what's that? I don't know. I can't give credit to it, but there's some saying out there that along the lines of it takes about 10 years to become an overnight success.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like it's just the grind. People don't see the grind. Once you get it all done, well, then you've got some whatever notoriety, some members, your social media's on point. They're like, oh, this is must have how it's been since day one. It's like, no, 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 no. This was a crawl, walk, run approach to get there. So
Yeah.
every gym owner that I talk to thinks that their gym is the coolest gym on the face of the earth, and their members are the best, hands down, as well they should, right? And so
Right.
now, why is your gym the coolest and why are your members the best? You can brag about them a bit here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, almost anything you say is almost, cliche in that it's like
That's
everybody says
okay.
it.
That's okay. Come on.
But, we do, I I think I've got this thing where, we seem to work with a lot of people that, they get inspired to like go get their level one or become a coach and that type of thing. And, we get oftentimes they come back from those things and they're like, wow, like the stuff you were teaching us in class, like that, like it turns out I actually knew a lot of it. I got to my level
Mm,
one and the exam was actually not hard at all because you're always talking about these, the principles behind it. So we are definitely fitness nerds. And, that's not always like is in business, that's not always the most important thing.
true, true.
But I think it does help more with like retention and that, and in the long run, like Coach Glassman he'd always talked about, well, the cream will rise to the top with a lot of these things. And, it's definitely in the long haul paid off for us to really be about, let's get the fundamentals, let's make sure people are moving well. And so I would just say, as far as my community goes, and that is our members, you know, um, and sometimes it makes it challenging too, but they're well informed, on
Mm-hmm.
what are the standards and why do we even have them, and all of that. And if you're having a B game kind of day, yeah, as a coach, they know right away, So, but
That's
that's great. I love that challenge of that. So,
so how would you describe the people at your gym? Is it, some gyms are skewed a bit younger, skewed a bit older, more middle-aged with families. Some people highly competitive gyms interested in throwing down a comp. Some could care less. Where does yours land?
I would say we're almost 50-50 between very experienced CrossFitters, like folks that were doing it back in the 2013, like a lot of people who've done it for 10 to 12 years
Gotcha. Okay,
have
yeah.
landed here. And then we kind of have this new wave of people that are in that, like their first 1 to 3 years, or 0 to 3 years.
Sure.
And it's, definitely some in the middle, but, a quick snapshot. It's kind of the new people, super excited, learning the movements, moving up through, scaled, intermediate, RX kind of variations of workouts. And then we've got these very experienced CrossFitters. A lot of them are at a stage where they're modifying nearly everything, and they've come to peace with that. They're cool with that. You know, there's no
Mm,
more, oh, I've got to get on the top of the leaderboard. It's like, nope, how am I going to get a great workout in and come back tomorrow?
that's a wonderful place to be. You know, because if you do actually want to do this for the rest of your life, like everyone, no one's a unique unicorn, sorry. Like everyone will face that decision tree eventually. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's 35, 45, or 55, but it is coming for you. And so to
Right.
be in an environment that is at least conscious about that, aware of it, and lets you know like it's if you modify something, it's not a worse workout or a less effective workout. It's just the workout that meets you where you're at. And
Right.
that's the best workout for you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we've got like it feels like a disproportionate contingent of 58, 59-year-olds with abs that, you know,
It's awesome.
um, that they're here 5 days a week, and it's just super consistent. So like when new people come in, I'll try to point that out and be like,
Mm,
hey, if you want, okay, that guy that just did that muscle up, he's turning 60 in a month or two. If you want to be like that, pay attention to how they train. You
hmm.
note the ego or lack thereof, and like
Right.
try to model that, and you will have success.
Do you guys do a mixture of structured classes and open gym, or is it all structured classes?
Uh, it'd be a mixture. I was gonna say all structured. Like on my schedule, it looks like it's all structured classes. We don't do open gym, so we
Okay.
do still have people that do that individual program design model that I did way
Right.
back when we opened with the OPEX model. I still have about a dozen on-site clients where I'm custom programming
I
all the
see. Okay.
yeah. Um, and they'll be off. I have like another area where they can work out, and they've got some pretty detailed notes and stuff, and we help them out a bit too. But
Sure.
our I would say 80% is group CrossFit classes.
Okay. And is there a fair number of other CrossFit gyms or just any sort of gym that is, I guess you could say is your competition in your area or not so much?
Um, we're the last licensed CrossFit affiliate in our
Okay.
area. Um, and I would say there's two or three that do CrossFit adjacent, you know,
Sure.
programs, that are, maybe a former games champ is behind, or, things like that. Um, and it doesn't feel like we compete a lot, and that's not to
Okay.
say better or worse, but it's just like the there's so many people that need to move that it feels like, a certain niche of people will find this gym and that's their place, and others will find us. And,
Fully agree. It's a big
it's
world out there with, depending upon where you're located, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people that are in need of a
right.
good lifestyle and exercise. Like that's a lot of people to serve, like I
Yeah.
agree. And what that question came from in my mind was, how do you attract new members to your gym?
Yeah. Admittedly, we could do better on, marketing or, social media, that type of thing. But we focus mainly on referrals, things,
Mm,
bring a friend. That's always our most successful, highest rate that they actually become members, because, you've already got a member that likes your gym and fits your culture. Chances are their friends are similar, and
right.
so that's kind of number one. We do try to post on social media somewhat regularly, but admittedly that, like I said, that could be better. And then, like coming up, we're actually doing a charity workout for it's to raise awareness and funds for research for a foundation that's really important to a family that's trained with us for a number of years. Their daughter has a rare genetic disorder, and so he had kind of asked me like, "Hey, you think we could ever do a workout to kind of just raise some awareness for ARRE?"
Mm,
Um, and I said, "Yeah, like absolutely. Let's do it and see what happens." And so we're seeing like that is actually one, it's taking care of our gym family, like something that's really near and dear to them. And we're seeing people that maybe we haven't seen in our fitness space kind of coming out of the woodwork that to support it and
Oh,
the
nice.
family. And almost like a bring a friend day, but we're also raising awareness, raising funds, helping a great cause. And so that's an example of how, it's not really marketing, you know,
Right.
but it's a win-win-win type thing for everybody. And that's the kind of stuff that I think we really get into. We do Murph every year, things like
Mm-hmm.
that seems to raise attention. Um, but yeah, for the most part, it's referrals, people dragging their buddies in. And then right below that would be Google. I mean,
Sure.
we have Google into our website. They search, they find it. There's either searching for a gym near me or they're searching for CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
They come to us through there, and then we show them around and tell them about the program.
Well, gym owners, like you said, things take longer than everyone expects to, get running, and it's always more work than people expect and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, as a busy gym owner, why did you select in a world of options BTWB and why the all-in-one?
Uh, so I've used BTWB for well over a decade. I used
Oh,
it at my
wow.
first gym. We logged Cindy the other day, and I had like over 20 Cindy's in there.
That's awesome.
Um, and I've always been like, why do I have to have BTWB and say, another app, and
Hmm.
I've tried all of the other apps for membership management. And honestly, it was like the bane of my existence having to deal with these multiple software apps. I hate
You're
it.
not the first person to say that.
So when they said, "Hey, we're gonna introduce membership management," I'm like, finally, and their app has always been solid. Their uptime's really honestly been excellent. I've never like went to log a workout and been like, oh, BTWB has crashed. Like,
Mm,
doesn't happen. But like every membership management software I've dealt with does,
right, right.
So when they said they were opening it, I was like, get me on the list right away. And I did that knowing like there's some time because some of these companies have been doing it for a decade,
100%.
you know.
100%.
So I'm realistic. I don't expect them to do every feature and every option overnight. But yeah, for me, it was all about I always try to put myself in my member's shoes. And I thought, as a member, I come into this gym, you're trying to explain to me what an AMRAP is and an EMOM and what is this snatch magic you're doing,
Right, right.
Then I got to learn 2 or 3 apps all at one time. That's madness. So thinking from the customer's shoes, I just thought, hey, all in one is going to be the best option.
No,
Um,
I mean,
and
simplifying things is nice.
yeah, yeah,
Well, let people know if, they want to go someplace nice and warm and sunny, so they're going to make their way out to where you are. But people do travel all over the place, for work, for business, for wherever. How
yeah,
can people, if they like what you're all about, they want to come in for a drop-in or whatnot, or they get a friend or a relative in the area and they're like, oh, I didn't even know there was a gym there.
yeah.
How can people find you? How can people track your gym, keep up with your website, social media? Give us the promotion. How can we do it?
Sure. Easiest, if you're dropping in, we do get drop-ins, coming through town, that type of thing. Or if you're local, hybridxfitness.com, easiest way to find us. We're also on Instagram, and I feel like we're changing stuff up on there all the time,
Mm.
but hybridxfit on Instagram. And then we're on Facebook as well. So, and that's enough for me to manage. So
Amen to that. Well,
I should give you one other I probably should have led in with this, honestly. So
yeah.
I once tried to, with our CrossFit program, I tried to switch to a different workout tracking platform, and
Uh-huh.
there was a near mutiny. So,
That's amazing.
for what it's worth, I mean, we've tried other things, and the members were like, oh, but they just couldn't, other things aren't as specific and detailed as Beyond the Whiteboard, and our people love that. So
Well, it's funny. You know, everyone has their niche, right? And so if you're a coach, you're probably doing it because you love to coach. Most people don't open a CrossFit gym thinking that they're going to one day retire in Malibu with an oceanfront home. Like it's a passion. Like it's what you're called to do. And the people that run BTWB, they love building tech. Like that's what like in the morning
right,
that gets them fired up. And
you
then
can feel that, you
and
know.
there's like every 3 months there's new features because they love that's what they love to do. Like so when you get people actually doing what they're supposed to be doing, like good good things happen. And you see that with whether it's software or you see that when you walk into a gym. Like you can just tell when these people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So yeah, 100%. Ryman, I appreciate it, brother, and I hope if people are in your area that they hit you up. And if I find myself
Yeah,
with the family, expect a drop in.
yeah. If you ever want to do some ice fishing or something, you know.
Uh,
So
100%. And if you find yourself in the greater Seattle area, hit me up.
that could happen. All right. Well, I really appreciate you reaching out to chat, and you know, keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks again, man.
Yep. Take care.